How's it going, everybody? Hello? Oh, okay. I couldn't see my green bars for a second. How's it going, everybody? Tie Sites Shadow Games Report. Doing part, what is this, 4, 5? I can't remember what part I'm on. Is it 4 or 5? Part 4 of Ghost Recon Wildlands today. It's been, I don't know, probably like a month since I played this game. And then it'd been like a year or two since I'd played it before that. Jeez. Time is flying by. I didn't expect to, I don't know, be talking about a lot of the same things 2 or 3 years later, but we're still dealing with a lot of the same chaos. Will order ever be restored with this administration? I don't know. Still waiting to see how the possible percolation of World War III will turn out. Whether or not we'll actually turn into World War III, we're still waiting on. But I mean, everything's so over convoluted right now. It's hard for me to even give you like a one-sided stance on anything. So I guess the best thing for me to do is just to give you a little bit of both sides, maybe a little bit of the in between as well. And like I've always done on this show, I'll let you decide. I show you the information. I might even give my opinion whether or not something is propaganda. And if you want to believe it is or is not propaganda, that's up to you. I don't tell anybody to believe anything. It's just more or less I present information and people argue with me based upon what that information is, and I'm just like, bro, I'm reading off the screen. Nobody handed it to me besides the X algorithm. So if X is feeding us information, then that's on them, really. But anyways, we are going to do about 30 minutes to an hour and a half of news before we get into the game. So let's go ahead and jump in. Oil prices plunged 30% after Trump's war update eases straight fears. Interesting. I don't know. I'm getting contradicting reports on that. I've heard from at least Brick's News earlier today, it was supposedly coming from Russia, that the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and that was like only, I don't know, maybe 7 to 8 hours ago that they posted that. So I guess you can, speculate why that is right now. I've heard that we might have even pulled from some emergency oil reserves. Oil reserves. I don't know if I said that word right. So, I don't know. We'll get into that particular piece of information later because I think I did repost it as long as it took to the algorithm or to my feed or whatever. Half my stuff that I post doesn't even make it onto my page for some reason, so I'm just like, there's been a few stories I wanted to cover some days and I'll never find them because they just don't pop up, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, it's a new form of limitation, new form of shadow banning, shadow limiting, I like to call it. All right, I actually have not seen the oil prices today. The gas go down. I have not seen the price changes, and for how long? That's the interesting thing about the Trump administration is, there'll be a insurgence of lower prices, but then they'll just shoot back up within like a month or two. So, can't really be too proud of it for too long. Old Israeli bill clip resurfaces with false Christianity ban claims. I'm not too sure about that yet, but I think I reposted something on that. DHS shut down standoff over ICE at polls and voter ID bill. Trump signals end to U.S.-led strikes on Iran after 10 days. Lots of this 10-day stuff. It's kind of interesting. Some interesting flexing still going on from Iran. It's really hard to tell who is actually winning this war right now. You have Trump calling for a ceasefire, what seems like multiple days, but then you have Israel escalating along with Iran escalating. So I mean, um, I don't blame Iran for not wanting to stand down at this point. I mean, the U.S. did totally botch the negotiations, in my opinion. They blame it on Iran, but I think we all kind of got to see it firsthand who actually botched the deal and who struck too early. But anyways, let's see. I'll get over here, or I'll get back to this in a second. Alexander Brothers, top NY real estate brokers convicted at sex trafficking trial. Jeez. You know, for all the Q stuff, I mean, I know a lot of people, I mean, including myself, I question Q heavily. But with all the sex trafficking and human trafficking, you know, stings that are going on right now, it really kind of like leans in Q's favor. And even with this whole Iran war situation, you know, who does this really not favor as of right now? I mean, I think that I don't know. There is a part of me that does believe that Trump does want a decent leader for Iran, one that is capable of working with the American economy. But really, you know, it's just kind of like I don't know if he's going to be able to change the leadership. I mean, he could keep taking out the mullah leadership as much as he wants to. I mean, I don't know. Is there just going to be an endless line of people that replace the leader as soon as he's taken out? That would be my biggest question. But you know, do we really want this other Shah or the Pahlavi guy or whatever his name is? I mean, I just don't know what the proper solution is for leadership with that whole situation. And do we want to install our own puppet, or do we want to allow Israel to install their puppet? I don't think that's a good situation either, and I don't think that's really good for Middle Eastern relationships. You know, you have China on one hand, you have Russia on the other, and if they have to deal with, let's just say, an American puppet, even, you know, what is that going to do for Iran? You know, will that just make people want to uprise against the leadership in Iran even more? Um, and what does it mean for the U.S. military? Does that just mean another like Iraq situation where we just have like these leaders control us? Or I'm sorry, where we just have like our leaders control them and we just occupy a foreign nation? I mean, that's why everybody's kind of like deeming this as Iraq 2.0 because it kind of resembles it. um, I'm still surprised we even got out of Iraq at all. But I don't know. Anyways, all right. Ohio State University's president resigns after reporting inappropriate relationship. With who? Did I say this one? Conservative Annette Ziegler announces retirement from Wisconsin Supreme Court. Family of teacher killed during prank wants charges against students dropped. What? Family of teacher killed during prank wants charges against students dropped. Hold up. So they killed a teacher? March 6th, Jason Hughes, a 40-year-old math teacher and golf coach at North Hall High School, was struck outside of his home and later died at a hospital. The prank known locally as rolling followed a Hall County School District warning that 5 high school students could face charges for preseason TPing. The Hall County Sheriff's Office arrested on Friday and charged Jaden Ryan Wallace with first-degree vehicular homicide and reckless driving. 4 others faced trespass littering charges and were released on bond on Friday. Family members asked the charges be dropped to avoid harming the teens' futures, calling the death a terrible tragedy, while community memorials and online fundraiser raised more than $200,000 as of Monday. What does it mean rolling? So like did they like drive by and throw TP at him? Is that what I'm getting from this? Was struck outside his home and later died. Struck with what? What is prom season TPing? You don't die from a toilet paper roll being thrown at you. What the hell? I don't know. I just don't feel like I want to investigate it enough. Why is this white now? Why are you white? I like the gray. There we go. Too much whiteness in this world. I'm just kidding. 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 Can y'all even see me? Like barely peeking over the edge of my screen today. All right. Let's get into some of these oil prices real quick. Let's look how far they dropped. The Kobesu letter says today's chart of oil prices will be referenced for decades to come. You just witnessed history. That's the largest oil price drop in history, at least percentage-wise. Because, I mean, all it basically did, it was up and then it went down below what it was before. Like I said, I haven't actually been out to town today. I stayed home because I didn't want to drive with $3 gas. I'm just kidding. That's not the reason why. I just felt like taking a day off. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to see prices. Will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated, says President Donald Trump.
We're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. Iran's drone and missile capability is being utterly demolished. The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We could have used it. Why did we sink them? They said, it's more fun to sink them. I said, they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true. But think of it. We knocked out 46. It actually took 3.5 days. Their terrorist leaders are gone. We're counting down the minutes until they will be gone. Think of it. We had leaders, and they're gone. Then we had new leaders, and they're gone. And now nobody has any idea who the people are that are going to be the head of the country, and will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated.
Trump pushes Senate on Save America Act for voter safeguards, threatening that no bill will pass until the SAVE Act is passed, basically. But I think Thune is beginning to push back on this a little bit. John Thune says support for the SAVE Act is a paid influencer campaign. From Nick Sorter. He says that is total BS, and even President Trump called it out today. The people are demanding it every time I go out. People say the Save American Act. Where's my sound at? Is there no sound? Did I lose sound? Or is it just no sound on the video? Testing, testing. Hello? Do I have sound? What happened? Okay. I have sound. Oh. I guess I accidentally clicked the mute button. Oops. Oh no. It's still not working.
My biggest plea
What the
tonight,
hell? It
it'll
keeps
make you
muting it.
and I'm not doing it for this reason.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. They have this new mute button feature on the tabs up here, and it's just like, I don't know, somehow I accidentally muted it and I didn't mean to. Retards. Stupid design.
I don't think you can politically exist if you're not going to do voter ID and these things. I don't think the people in this country will stand for it. So I'm making my biggest plea tonight. It'll make you, and I'm not doing it for this reason at all. It'll guarantee the midterms. It'll guarantee the midterms. If you don't get it, big trouble, my opinion. If you get this, your midterms, and they know it. For two reasons. Number one, they won't be able to cheat. And number two, the people are demanding it. Every time I go out, Save America, sir, Save America Act. We want the Save America Act, sir. That's all they talk about. They don't talk about housing. They don't talk about anything. That's what they talk about. And if you send it up there, you're going to win the midterms at levels that you can't even believe. And you're going to win every election for a long time until somebody screws things up, and hopefully that won't happen. But I've never been more confident that if we keep these promises and deliver on this popular agenda, the American people will stand with us in overwhelming numbers, just as they did in 2024.
President Donald Trump with leaders from across Latin America at the Shield of America Summit, which I guess I would assume is going to be part of the whole Western Hemisphere security alliance, or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like this hemisphere dominance from the U.S. At least that's how it appears. It's being led by the U.S. Calling it Shield of the Americas, which sounds like a Marvel thing, like directly from Marvel. The Avengers. President Trump confirms he's going to get the names of 4 to 5 GOP senators refusing to pass the SAVE Act.
I really am, but that's how bad it is. And we're going to have to push the Senate because you have 4 or 5 senators that are, I don't know, 4 or 5 Republican senators. You'll have to explain them to me, but we're not going to get into that. But we're going to push them to get it done, because I don't think you can politically exist if you're not going to do voter ID and these things. I don't think the people in this country will stand for it. So I'm making my biggest plea tonight. It'll make you, and I'm not doing it for this reason at all. It'll guarantee the midterms. It'll guarantee the midterms.
We just heard that part, so I'm not going to play the rest. But yeah, just to finish up over here real quick, the summit launches. Wait. I want to read up here real quick. Yeah, here it is. Shield of the Americas Summit in Doral, Florida, depicting President Trump flanked by leaders from 12 Latin American countries, including Argentina's Javier Milei and El Salvador's Nayib Bukele, under a backdrop promoting hemispheric security cooperation. The summit launches a U.S.-led coalition focused on countering drug cartels and trafficking, with Trump announcing military actions against Cuba and emphasizing regional alliances to combat narcotics, as covered by sources like The Guardian and CSIS. So we got a new security alliance with South American countries. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I might have covered that on Friday, but I wanted to make sure that I covered it again today because it is kind of relevant. We have operations taking place in different countries in accordance with this new security alliance, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like the latest cartel sting happened before all of this happened, so I don't know. Maybe it's just been forming in the background and we're just now hearing about it. Stu Peters says, holy shite. Lindsey Graham needs to be tried for treason immediately. Alleged homosexual Senator Lindsey Graham traveled to Israel with U.S. intelligence to coach Netanyahu on how to convince Trump to bomb Iran, going so far as to give the PM U.S. intelligence. From AF Post. Does AF stand for America First? What does that stand for? Yeah, it does. Okay. Is that like Nick Fuentes's company or something? I mean, I don't know. I'm just like asking questions here. Well, I don't actually. What is this? AF Post. Yeah, I'm kind of curious now. Is there no about section? Authors? There's only 3 authors. Okay. Whatever. Iraqi Kurds just said no to the CIA. They're refusing to launch attacks into Iran despite massive pressure. Why? We have trust issues from the past. 200 Shahed drones could cause a lot of damage here. We have no air defense systems. Very, very true. Jill Webbin says multiple press outlets have reported that Tucker Carlson went to the White House in the weeks before the bombs fell on Iran, sitting across from the president in 3 separate Oval Office meetings to lay out the case against the war. Tucker hasn't been talking about the visits, but he has been laying out the reasons why the American people, via his own program. These reasons include the potential cost in American blood, the fracturing of Arab partnerships that are more meaningful and productive than our partnership with Israel, and the naked fact that the only reason the strike was on the table was that Benjamin Netanyahu forced him into it. The latter reason has been independently verified by Trump's own team, including Speaker of the House, after leaving a skiff by Secretary of Defense Hegseth, by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, by congressional leaders, and by his own press secretary. His decision has been characterized as forced by almost everyone, and not forced by Iran, but by Israel. To read the full article, use the link. Yeah. I'm not going to read that headline out loud to not trigger the algorithm. Only say it when it's relevant. Because, I mean, I don't know. You know they're going to be like ramping up shit right now. With all this don't say anything anti-Semitic nonsense. The bottom line is that this voter ID is not controversial in this country, from Caroline Levitt.
Okay, what's the racial breakdown on this, right? Because I think a lot of people make the argument that people of color, non-white Americans, have a harder time procuring a photo ID to vote. But even here, take a look here, favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it, 82% of Latino, 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote. Okay, what's the racial?
Meantime, an alarming report of threats outside Iran. ABC News reports Iran may be activating sleeper cells. Quote, the U.S. has intercepted encrypted communications believed to have originated in Iran that may serve as an operational trigger for sleeper assets outside the country. If true, further illustrating Secretary of State Marco Rubio's point, we are fighting a terrorist government.
The United States is currently engaged in an operation targeting one of the world's leading hostage taker, the world's leading sponsor of terrorism. They are trying to hold the world hostage. They are attacking their neighbors. They are attacking neighboring countries, their energy infrastructure, their civilian population. They're attacking embassies. This is a terrorist government. This is a terroristic regime. And we are seeing them conduct terrorism using nation-state elements, using weapons like missiles and one-way attack drones. And the objective of this mission is to destroy their ability to continue to do that.
But Iran's
A lot of people have been giving Candace Owen flack on this particular statement saying not to join the U.S. military and to find legal means to leave the military so that you don't have to fight in this war. She's a civilian. She has the right to do that. Like, she can speak out against the military, the government. I mean, that's literally what free speech is for. Now, if you become a service member and you start doing stuff like this, it's a little bit different. You're probably going to get dishonorably discharged. They might even try to say it's treason, but that's you actually working for the government. That's different. If you're a citizen, you can speak out. You can actually do more damage as a citizen than you can as a government official. At least it appears so, but I don't know. People that have been killed would disagree with me, so either way. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. U.S. strikes devastate Iran's navy. That's not the one I clicked on. Why did it go to this one? I didn't click on that one. It totally changed it on me. Piece of crap. Well, that's some crap, dude. How do I click on something and it goes to a totally different page? That's wild. Alrighty. Well, I guess moving on. Rumors of Israeli leaders' deaths spread amid U.S.-Israel-Iran conflict. Talking about the sun, or what are you talking about here? The 10-day conflict escalated with barrages on both sides, unverified rumors targeting Ben Gvir, Mossad chief David, Barnea, and Netanyahu's brother, Edo. Though fact checks confirm no such deaths, Iran Supreme Leader Al Khamenei reportedly died in U.S.-Israeli strikes, with his son, Mujtaba, or is it Mujtaba, possibly wounded and sidelined. Ida's successor, oil prices swung widely. Yeah, it appears his son has already become the leader, but I don't know. some people have said that he does have some type of wound from possibly being struck during the whole bombing, but I don't know, maybe he survived. Maybe he survived, maybe he's just wounded now. I don't know anything about his wounds. Oil prices swung wildly from $120 to $88 a barrel as markets panicked over supply fears. Yeah. I'm still curious if it's the oil reserves bringing it down temporarily or what. India decided to support Israel, and the U.S., instead of its BRICS partners, was buying cheap, discounted oil from Russia. The U.S. stepped in and ordered India to stop buying Russian oil and buy from others like Venezuela. Let's see. Kerry Prajim Baller says, while dispensationalists, warmongering Zionists lay hands on President of the United States and pray for war to fulfill their false theological fantasies, our Holy Father Pope Leo the 14th, 14th. Pontifex calls the world to peace. Oh, I didn't know he had a Twitter account. One message is heresy, the other is Christianity. Dispensationalism is a modern theological error that twists scripture and turns the gospel into a prophecy-driven political project. False interpretations of scripture have real-world consequences. We are witnessing the deadly fruit of division and false teaching of the Protestant Reformation. No. No. How to address this? I don't understand. Like, okay, like obviously the churches have been infiltrated by different Zionist characters. It's already been proven through CIA documents that they did infiltrate the churches and they did install their own characters. But those are Zionists. Those are not true Christians. And to kind of pin it on, like, Protestant Reformation, like lady, you have to realize that Protestants, they were protesting the Catholic Church. They were protesting the authority of the church. How they would put the preachers and priests above Jesus, or at least, the teachings of it. And, it became abusive. That's why Protestants broke off from Catholics. Now, there were obviously reformations through the Zionist infiltration, obviously, but there was different types of reformation going on. It wasn't all about Zionism. In my opinion, it was more or less actually a reformation of different sects of Christianity starting to kind of break off from possibly even realizing that there was some type of infiltration. Some of the division that might have occurred through Christianity might have been caused through false Christians, fake Christians, people that pretended to be Christian to try to take over the churches, and then people obviously see that and then maybe try to start their own church. I mean, you can always tell who a real Christian is by their value system, how they behave, and, what they stand up for. Do they stand up for their family? Do they stand up for, I guess, Christians as a whole? Do they try to shit on, particular Christians? Which, I know I speak up against Zionist Christians, but I also try to speak in good faith so that hopefully we can change some minds. Like if we talk more cleanly to someone, they're more accepting of certain information. They're not going to battle you as much. We need to actually start winning some arguments by gaining some ground with these particular people. And really they just need some convincing that yeah, you're basically just being taught to be suicidal and fight for another nation that basically doesn't even believe in God. You got to remember a lot of these Israeli statists, they don't actually believe in God. A lot of them are secular. So with that, they can't really use Judaism as a means of argument for their land. You have to believe in God. You have to actually practice the Torah. And to practice the Torah, you wouldn't commit a genocide on a, two-state solution state that's right next to you, which has basically just been demolished now, and they're throwing the people into, I guess, Somaliland, which is just crazy. But at least they didn't kill the rest of them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll still try to do it. I don't know. It's pretty wild to me. I don't know. The way that Trump has behaved in all of this, like, can you even call him a Christian anymore? He's been acting very subversive lately. But I don't know. Maybe I can clear it up with Grok too, just to see what type of Protestant Reformation she's talking about. But anyways, let me look at this or read the rest of it. Protestantism fractured the faith into endless competing doctrines, now openly pushing for war in the hope of forcing the second coming of Christ. No, I mean, there's obviously going to be fractures with free will and free interpretation. I don't think that there needs to be a church authority, though, demanding that you believe in a certain way of the scripture. I think it's one of those things that needs to be naturally taught, because I think it creates resistance whenever you have that authority over the word of God. The only word of God needs to come from God. That's the Protestant view. It's basically just saying, like, don't be my authority. Like Carrie Prejean Bowler, you're not my authority just because you're Catholic. You see what I'm saying? Like, they play these like, I mean, this is why I'm not Catholic. It's because they play these mental games with you, saying like, I'm the authority now because I just converted my religion to Catholic. Carrie, I've been on your side this entire time, and you're only going to push anti-Zionist Protestants away from you by doing stuff like this. So realize there's a difference. A lot of Protestants were really trying to be closer to God by trying to rebel against the authority of the Catholic Church. Like, you have to realize that they saw that the Catholic Church went too far with persecution of certain people, in the name of God, especially. So naturally, that just creates enemies. You don't convert that way. You don't change minds that way. Jesus knew how to change minds. He knew how to be good to people and be accepting of their sins, forgiving them. Where is any type of, I don't know, leniency towards, I guess, people that might have been led astray? I feel like is the cleanest way to put it. I think we have many people that have been led astray, and, anyways, let me check something real quick. Fracture the, just see if we had any chatters. All right, See, this is even more annoying. Like, okay, like, does she not realize that? I have to finish up with this story because I want to move on. But I read something else here, and I was just like, really, you're gonna throw some more shit on top of this shit sandwich? She said Christ founded one church. Okay, yeah, exactly, exactly. So don't be fighting for your new church that you just joined. Like, no offense, lady, but you just became a Catholic. Like, let's not forget that Carrie just became a Catholic. I didn't want to argue from this point of view until now, but it does make things a little bit obvious whenever you start to fight for just Catholics. Whenever you, I'm pretty sure, weren't you a Protestant? Like, she might have been a part of a Zionist church for all I know. Like, maybe that's why she's so bent out of shape towards Protestants. I totally get that. I didn't like Baptist churches either, by the way. I grew up Church of Christ, and it was actually a little bit similar to Catholicism. You know, it was a little bit stricter. We didn't have, we didn't have fathers inside of confessionals and stuff like that. Like, obviously, we were taught that prayer does all of that. Like, we can pray to God, ask for forgiveness. We don't need to go into a room with another guy that's not God, by the way. Which, there's the whole Catholic pedophile ring situation that makes it kind of hard to want to be a Catholic too, considering the Catholic Church was heavily infiltrated well before Protestants were. Like, why did you make me have to go there, lady? I was all on your side. Up until this weird point where you have to, like, I mean, it is obviously a stain on the Protestant worldview that Zionists did infiltrate it within recent decades. But you have to realize we're dealing with the CIA. Like, do I really have to say that? We're dealing with the fucking CIA. They're manipulative, fucked up retards that want to infiltrate everything and ruin it. I mean, what else can you really say about it besides that? Like, that's my entire worldview on the CIA. It's infiltration and let's fuck it up and control it and make money from it while having, like, human trafficking rings and all this other messed up stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up. But yeah, just remember that Catholics protested the Orthodox. Somebody actually said that to me earlier today. And it's so relevant right now because, like, Catholics are not, they act like they're pure and they're just not. Like, you went to a confessional today and you think that you're pure as fuck now. I'm sorry. It's just so arrogant. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord. I have burned her a little too long now. Burning witches. She's not a witch. I actually like her, but at the same time, I have to burn the I don't know, the behaviorisms of witchery. I guess is a good way to put it. Introducing the America's Counter
On this
Cartel
historic
Coalition.
day, we come together to announce a brand new military coalition to eradicate the criminal cartels plaguing our region. And you have a lot of it. One of the things when we were talking backstage, you were telling me the crime, the cartels, and we're knocking the hell out of them where we can. We're going to go heavier. You saw what we were doing with the boats coming in. The boats, there's not a lot of people coming in by boats anymore. We knocked down drugs coming in by sea. Drugs coming in through water is down 96%. We're trying to find out who the other 4% are because I think they're the bravest people in the world. Either that or they don't watch television, right? They're either very brave or they're not watching. But we're calling this military partnership the America's Counter Cartel Coalition. And that's what you need. You have cartels. They seem to grow in this region unbelievably rapidly. It has to do with drugs largely. Earlier this week here in Miami, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's right here. Pete, you're fantastic, doing a great job. We're proud of you. And representatives of 17 different nations formally entered this new alliance. The heart of our agreement is a commitment to using lethal military force to destroy the sinister cartels and terrorist networks. Once and for all, we'll get rid of them.
And I also made a new playlist this past weekend, Aetherwave Part 3, or Volume 3. For Anybody that wants to go check it out. Whole new 4-hour and 20-minute long playlist of all kinds of good music. Go check it out. All right. ALX says, I just lost any respect I ever had for leader John Thune. He claims that the organic support behind the Voter ID and Save America Act is from paid influencers. Are the polls showing overwhelming support from paid influencers too? Do your job instead of betraying your voters. Yeah. Emerald Robinson says, looking back, the problem might have started when Trump went with Ben Shapiro and Howard Lutnick to the grave of a false messiah that Chabad thinks will rise again. Parody Jeff says, never forget when Trump prayed at the grave of Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe Schneerson in Brooklyn. Chabad is a Jewish movement that believes all Gentiles should be enslaved. Grave of a false messiah. So the Chabad thinks this person will rise again, and Trump visited that grave, and he's wearing a yarmulke. Not a good look for a supposed Christian president. I don't want to call him a fake Christian, but the dude doesn't even want to go to heaven, it seems like, especially with how he behaves towards really many different situations, but also just the total mess of what's going on in Iran. I'm trying to see the positive light and everything, but I'm also trying to read through some of it, just trying to make sure I'm not being propagandized too. I also don't want to lie to my audience, so I actually care about telling the truth. I actually kind of want to have a clean soul if I ever make it to heaven. I may or may not make it there, I don't know. You know, that's my... I guess maybe Trump is trying to be, I don't know, humble about it, saying I may or may not. But I don't know. I think I have probably 1,000 times more likelihood than Trump does at this point. Because you have to realize that whenever you give an order for war, that's basically like saying, I authorize hundreds of thousands of deaths, just depending on how many people die. But seems like this war might go a little bit further than expected. All right. Leader John Thune says it's been 3 weeks and counting on Democrats' second shutdown this fiscal year alone. Tens of thousands of DHS employees are going without pay. Critical DHS priorities are going unfunded. Bro, we funded DHS with the One Big Beautiful Bill. Where did all that money go? Like, I don't even understand why DHS doesn't have money all of a sudden. Like, we literally funded the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it was like, what, $1.7 trillion or something crazy? Anyways.
Mr. President, we are more than 3 weeks into the Democrats' DHS shutdown. And Democrats keep telling us that they're serious about funding this agency, but their actions speak louder than their words. Negotiations have been going now for well over a month. Democrats have sent 2 offers to the White House. 2 offers that were basically the same. No compromise, no give and take, just take it or leave it. Then on Thursday, perhaps realizing that forcing tens of thousands of DHS employees to go without pay isn't great for their brand, Democrats made a new yet equally unserious proposal, and that is selectively funding certain DHS agencies. That's right, Democrats want to fund the parts of the Department of Homeland Security that they like and keep the rest shut down indefinitely. Now, Mr. President, this might come as news to Democrats, but the fact is that every part of the Department of Homeland Security is essential. As our colleague Senator Britt pointed out on Thursday, Democrats' plan would leave Homeland Security investigations in limbo. A lot of Americans might not know it, but Homeland Security investigations is responsible for some pretty serious law enforcement activities in this country. They look up child predators, drug dealers, terrorists. And then there's Customs and Border Protection, another agency that Democrats planned would leave in limbo. Now, most Americans interact with CBP officers when they come back to the United States from abroad. They're the people who check your passport. They're also the people who prevent illegal immigrants and contraband like drugs and weapons from crossing our borders and getting into our country. Under President Trump, and thanks to the hard work of these men and women, our border is secure, and illegal crossings have shrunk to a tiny fraction of the record-setting numbers of the Biden administration. The police chief in Sioux Falls recently said this of the drop in fentanyl seizures in South Dakota's largest city, and I quote, "I think it's safe to say that some of the measures taken within the southern border are paying dividends within our community," end quote. Are Democrats looking to undo these gains and return to chaos at the border? Well, on top of all this, Democrats' proposal would also leave enforcement and removal operations unfunded. The people responsible for removing gang members, convicted criminals, and other dangerous illegal immigrants from our country. Mr. President, on Thursday, the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Murray, said that Democrats, and I quote, we will not cut a blank check, funding without reforms for ICE and Border Patrol, end quote. Well, Mr. President, no one is asking her to. In fact, the DHS funding agreement that Democrats reneged on would have funded de-escalation training for ICE officers, added $20 million for body cameras, and increased oversight of ICE funding. The Trump administration has already taken a number of actions to rein in immigration enforcement on its own, and the administration has made two substantial offers to Democrats to legislate reform measures over and above the measures Republicans had already agreed to. Mr. President, Republicans in the White House are at the table. At the table. It's Democrats who are standing in the way. Mr. President, Democrats can talk all they want about getting reforms, but the only thing they're accomplishing by dragging this out is protecting the status quo.
Okay, pure politics there. Showmanship at its finest. The White House says to save our elections, it's common sense, pass the Save America Act. Well, we're waiting on John Thune, this guy. We need it on the table, and it doesn't really seem like Trump's pressuring is really doing much. Barack Obama from 2 days ago. Today, Michelle and I are proud to announce that we will be hosting the dedication ceremony of the Obama Presidential Center on June 18th in Chicago and welcoming the public on June 19th. So they got their extra ugly slab of stone, I guess, ready for the public. I don't know if they're going to actually show it, but yeah, I guess they are.
When visitors look up at the Obama Presidential Center's museum building, they'll see...
They still got cranes next to it? Jeez, man. You are a... What does that say? American? I can't even read what the F it says. Person, the sin. Does that say sinful? What in the world?
Simple, powerful words. You are America.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Those
I'll let him
words
finish.
come from a speech that is especially close to my heart.
I didn't know the words wrapped around the building. That's my fault.
The one I gave in Selma on the 50th anniversary of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That day we honored ordinary men and women who, at great risk to themselves, changed this country's course and helped bend the arc of history a little more towards justice. The progress fought for and won by generations
Oh,
before
get
us
out of
is
here.
ungrateful.
He thinks he's MLK now. Bro, you made the country racist, more racist than ever. A lot of us blame Trump, but it really started with Obama. Like, let's be completely honest. All right. Hakeem Jeffrey says Democrats are refusing to reopen DHS because Republicans will not commit to keeping ICE agents away from polling places.
Completely and totally out of control group of people. It's the reason why we are in a DHS shutdown right now, because Republicans have refused to agree to the type of bold, transformative, meaningful, and dramatic reforms we are demanding in order for the Department of Homeland Security funding bill to move forward. And I won't go through all of the demands, much of which we've talked about repeatedly in the public, but one of those demands is keep ICE out of sensitive locations. And we've defined that as schools, houses of worship, hospitals, and polling sites. We want an explicit prohibition that ICE can go nowhere near any polling sites in the United States of America. It's one of our demands. We're not going to bend on it completely and totally.
Speak with Dee says it's called freedom of speech, you fat fuck. Our freedom doesn't end where your Jewishness begins. There's no such thing as hate speech, only free speech, and that goes for shit I don't like hearing too. Freedom of speech is tantamount to our country, period. That's right, you fat fuck. You can say whatever you want to as long as I get to too.
It is easy to criticize anti-Semitism when it happens on the other side. It is more difficult to address it when it happens on your own. It was not enough for Tucker Carlson to a few days ago say every Jew should have to do a DNA test to prove that they were Jewish. It was not enough for him to say that a terrorist should be able to kill us if they are under 18 years old. But yesterday, Tucker Carlson attacked perhaps the best, the most good group of Jews that are out there, a group of people who see their job to evangelize not other Jews, but Jews themselves, Chabad, a group that no one ever has anything bad to say about because they care about everyone. I wear a kippah from UF Chabad today in honor of them. We have a cancer in this country. It is anti-Semitism, and Tucker Carlson represents it. He is many things, but one thing President Trump and I agree on is he is certainly not MAGA. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Whatever, dude. In Israel, a bill has been submitted to the Knesset that could criminalize public speech about Jesus Christ.
Are calling on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop a bill proposed by members of his coalition to make it criminal to tell people about Jesus in Israel. Our Jerusalem correspondent Daniel Cohen is live near Tel Aviv with more. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning, everyone. A big story just before days before Palm Sunday, Good Friday, and Easter. Sacred time for Christians. Two ultra-Orthodox members of Prime Minister Netanyahu's coalition have introduced a bill that would punish believers for sharing the gospel of Jesus with prison time. United Torah Judaism Knesset members Moshe Gafni and Yaakov Asher introduced legislation last week making it illegal to share in conversation or produce content online, in print, or by mail. Their explanation of the bill emphasizes a warning to stop Christians in particular. The punishment, 1 year in prison or 2 years for sharing with someone under the age of 18. Joel Rosenberg is the host of the Rosenberg Report and editor-in-chief of All Israel News. He's also a Jewish follower of Jesus.
What?
Obviously, Jewish people don't agree with Christians, evangelicals or others, about who Jesus is, right? We all know that there's a theological difference, but evangelical Christians and other Christians have been so supportive of Israel and the Jewish people. So to silence, to muzzle, and gag even Israelis like myself and others to say, you can't talk to another person about your faith and why you believe it, that is terrible. That is not freedom.
Although he doesn't agree theologically, Netanyahu has always been a strong friend of evangelicals, speaking at meetings and believing freedom of speech and freedom for Israel's small Christian community
President Trump and the American people rejected that in our own. We don't have to live with communities flooded with drugs or violence or cartels and gangs. We can seal our border, and we have to for our citizens. We share a hemisphere and geography. We share cultures, Western Christian civilization. We share these things together. We have to have the courage to defend it. And we have a commander-in-chief in our country who's set that compass heading. And at the War Department, we look forward to working with all of your countries and more that are not here to say, with our shared assets and our intelligence and our capabilities, with American leadership, we will go on offense against the cartels. They will know that we're just around the corner. Whether it's drug boats or on land, we look the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, the ACCC, President Trump and the American people
Which is
reject.
basically what we're going to be playing tonight.
Iran's drone and missile capability is being utterly demolished. The Navy is gone. It's all lying at the bottom of the ocean. 46 ships. Can you believe it? In fact, I got a little upset with our people. I said, what quality of ship? Excellent, sir. Top of the line. I said, why did we just capture the ship? We're going to use it.
got this far
Why
down.
did we sink them? They said, it's more fun to sink them. I said, they like sinking them better. They say it's safer to sink them. I guess it's probably true. But think of it. We knocked out 46. It actually took 3.5 days. Their terrorist leaders are gone. We're counting down the minutes until they will be gone. Think of it. We had leaders, and they're gone. Then we had new leaders, and they're gone. And now nobody has any idea who the people are that are going to be the head of the country. And Iran's drone and missile capability is being
They're fleeing their homes and getting out of town. Members of the Lev Tahrir community, who practice an austere form of Judaism, say they're being persecuted for their beliefs. They claim village elders threatened to cut their water and electricity if they did not leave San Juan village near Guatemala City. This spokesperson said, "This attitude that they've taken against us to accuse us of something we didn't do. Legally, we as Guatemalans, who are the majority here, and also foreigners, have the right to live where we want to live. Let's respect the country's laws." "We do not want another Jewish Holocaust," she said, "and that's why we're leaving like this. Fast, without thinking too much about it, but very sad. I've lived here for 7 years." They're fleeing their homes and getting out of town.
Parody Jeff says breaking: Jews have been kicked out of several cities in Guatemala after locals accused of them damaging local water sources. I haven't confirmed that myself, but it sounds like there's a newscaster reporting on it here.
One thing I noticed, I can't contain myself and have to express it, but when you say that the Israelis are destroying Beirut, which is, having been to a lot of places in the world, one of the prettiest places on the globe. Beirut is just a marvel. It's beautiful. It reminds me, and it's being destroyed by Israel, which is one of the single ugliest countries in the world. Nothing of beauty has been built there since 1948. Sorry, I've been everywhere in that country, and it's true. That the nature of this emerging empire is destructive, and it always seems like beautiful things wind up being destroyed. Europe, right? Beirut, parts of Syria, the holy sites. Parts of Iran are apparently beautiful, totally blown up. This does seem like a war on beauty as well, which next to truth is like, this is not an American perspective, but it's a Christian perspective and a real perspective. It's a global perspective. Beauty is worth preserving. And yet it seems the determined effort of the IDF to destroy beauty. And I just want to say that because I really notice it.
الرحمن الرحیم و یک دولهم مستطعتم من قوه. چند روز پیش شنیده شد ترامپ در اظهار نظراتش پیشنهاد حمله زمینی داده. ما سالیان سال منتظر یه همچین روزی هستیم و آمادگی 100% داریم. بیاید از جعبه مهمات‌های خودمون تابوت‌هایی درست کردیم که شما را
President Trump says Iran had far more missiles than anyone thought, from Bricks News. Oil prices collapsed below $84 a barrel, now down 30% since last night's highs. Still wondering how that happened. Let's actually ask Grok and see if there's any update. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says attacking our infrastructure is a dangerous move that will have grave consequences. The U.S. set this president, not Iran. Iran says they're ready for a ground invasion. They said they've been preparing for this for decades, so who knows? The British Patriot says over 70,000 pro-Trump and pro-Israel Iranian patriots just stormed a pro-IRGC rally in central London. The Islamists got chased out of the streets of London. I think I played that last Friday. Harrison Smith reports that anonymous X users worldwide are discovering that their real name are being searched in Israel.
Users find their real names are being Googled in Israel after using X verification software called AU10TIX, AU10TIX. A wide range of anonymous X users have reported that their real names are suddenly being Googled in Israel shortly after they began criticizing the country for its actions in Palestine. Some connected the phenomenon to AU10TIX, the software X requires users, even anonymous ones, to use in order to verify their real identities. AU10TIX is a Israeli company founded and staffed by former Israeli spies from the elite Israeli military intelligence group Unit 8200. Mint Press News investigated this disturbing phenomenon. They're calling it, quote, the largest honeypot operation on the planet. Quote, I'm not even kidding when I say my full legal name, including my middle name, has been searched up in Israel 11 times in the past days, wrote Transfem Potus, an anonymous X-user who's been highly critical of Israel's actions. This was not an isolated incident either. Quote, so apparently my full legal name got searched for in Israel the other day, revealed the Atlantean 9, an anonymous far-left user with a Palestinian flag in their bio. Meanwhile, artist Bionico Bendito stated, quote, my full name got searched 100 times in Israel when I posted this, referring to a cartoon depicting associates of Jeffrey Epstein being executed. Across the world, from conservative Japanese accounts to American conspiracy theorists, anonymous users are reporting that data from Google Trends shows their real names, not divulged anywhere online, are being mass searched in Israel. Okay, so Google Trends has a function that you can tell how often something is searched and where it's searched from, right? And you can use this for widespread trends, right? You can watch how the Seahawks gets searched when they win a game, right? And you can see it spike up, and you can see, well, most of the searches were from this area, but some of them are from over here. And so X users are putting their own name in and going, who's searching my full name, right? And what they're finding is there are searches taking place in Israel, despite the fact that these people's full names are not published anywhere online. So what's happening is somebody in Israel is identifying anti-Israel accounts on X. They're reaching out to the X back end, either AU10TIX or, something like that. Yeah, I haven't been searched, I guess. Reaching out to them and saying, okay, here's the account. The account is, whatever, Bianco Bandito.
Hold up, Harrison. You're one of the most outspoken people in Israel. How are you not being searched? That's kind of a interesting fact. Why would Israel totally avoid Harrison? I don't know. It is kind of strange. He didn't get swatted or anything. Owen got swatted. Chase got swatted. I think Alex has been swatted a few different times. I don't know if it was recent, but either way, moving on.
Missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I haven't seen it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic, it's sold to other countries. But that's being investigated right now.
Guess anything's possible when it comes to that. You can send, or you can buy a foreign enemy's weapon through another country that was sold to them, and then, fire it as if it's one of your enemy's. I don't know. What do y'all think? And someone says Zionists are having a meltdown after what I said yesterday, so let me reiterate. This is from 2 days ago. Do not sign up for or continue to fight for the U.S. military. This war is on behalf of satanic pedophiles. Find the legal means to exit the military. Do not fight for child rapists. Come home. Well done, Candace. Carrie Regime baller. Now I'm just going to look at you differently now. Every time I read your name. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I mean, we agree on stuff like this, but, you know, she goes on her weird, you know, bashing Protestants thing. And just, you know, you don't throw everybody in the same egg basket. It's just not how things work. You know, most Zionists probably don't even know that they're believing in something wrong. You know, they don't, I mean, they were taught their entire lives to believe this way. So I can sympathize to a certain degree. Now, if they don't learn after you teach them the alternative method, that's where things get a little sticky. Anyways, the temple will never be rebuilt.
What about the temple?
According to the... Says Father Chad Ripperger. Interesting name. Julian the Apostate tried to rebuild it, and it was destroyed in the process. Christ put an end to the Jewish sacrifice on purpose. He gave them one generation to convert to Christianity, and when they didn't, he put an end to their sacrifice.
Fathers of the church, at least the ones that I've read, they said the temple will never be rebuilt. And to the...
One more time.
What about the temple?
According to the fathers of the church, at least the ones that I've read, they said the temple will never be rebuilt. And
It will never be
rebuilt. And the reason being is because, first of all, Julian the Apostate tried to rebuild it, and it was destroyed in the process. Christ actually put an end to the Jewish sacrifice on purpose, because the Jewish sacrifice in the Old Testament was a lead-up or a prefigurement of Christ. And so he gave them one generation in order for them to convert to Christianity. And when they didn't, he put an end to their sacrifice. So technically speaking, there hasn't been practicing Jews in 2,000 years because the temple hasn't been around. They haven't been able to offer sacrifice. Doesn't mean that they don't pray and things of that sort, but they haven't been able to enact their primary religious duties, which is to offer sacrifice. Plus their Levitic line, which is their priestly line, was destroyed. So, but then, and the difficulty is people tend to misinterpret the book of Daniel, which says when the abomination of desolation takes its seat in the temple. What they don't realize is that is not a reference to the Jewish temple. That's where the Protestants are getting it wrong. So a lot of the Protestants are thinking, oh, well, let's help the Jews rebuild the temple, and then that will usher in, because Christ is going to return, you know, after they think the temple is going to be rebuilt. And then as a result of that, the temple has to be rebuilt in order for the Antichrist to put himself in there. So let's do that so that the Antichrist will come, and then that means that Christ will come, and that's kind of their reasoning behind it. Well, first of all,
Zionists, can you not tell the illogic or suicidal nature of any of that? No? Okay. Well, I tried.
Just getting through the years of the Antichrist is going to be brutal, so I wouldn't be pushing that. But the fathers of the church are very clear that it'll never be rebuilt, and that the reference to the abomination of desolation taking its seat in the temple is actually a reference to the Catholic Church. That's what the fathers say it's a reference to. That there's going to be some way in which the situation in the church will become compromised to such a degree. It doesn't mean that people have to know it, but its essential elements will still remain intact. But that the Catholic Church itself would become compromised in that process.
Jeez. How about Michael?
So Michael, the general belief among the theologians and who have studied this and that type of thing is that he's actually one of the archangels. So he's from the second of the lowest ranks. So which is actually one of the reasons why it's so humiliating for Satan to get kicked out of heaven by him, is because it was humiliating. But as Thomas Aquinas says, anybody in heaven has what they call prelation over anything below them. And so those in hell, anybody in heaven can cast out any demon in hell, God permitting. But St. Michael is, most people are unaware of it, St. Michael is actually the guardian angel of the elect. So those who are, God has pre-chosen that they're going to go to heaven. And so they're actually...
God has pre-chosen for certain people to go to heaven.
Yeah, because God, if you remember, it's actually part of divine revelation. Christ said, many are called, but few are chosen. And it's God who chooses. It doesn't mean that we don't cooperate in that process. We have to cooperate in the lead up to it. But ultimately, it's God who gives us the final grace to make to bridge the gap between ourselves and Him, right? But so in the Catholic Church, we actually we call it a non-mutual predestination. We believe that God chooses who gets to go to heaven, but and there's indications with that. But if you end up in hell, that's your own fault, because if you would have cooperated with God, you could have made it to heaven, type of thing. Okay. So he's the guardian angel of the elect. So that meant that that's why it was his job to kick out the demons from the company of the angels that remained faithful, who were the elect. And so he's the one that kicked him out of heaven. Because he's the guardian angel of the elect, that also means that he became the guardian angel of the Jews, the Jewish religion, in the beginning, because they were the chosen people. But once, according to the fathers of the church, they apostatized and rejected Christ. They ceased being the chosen religion and the chosen people. And now it gets transferred to Christians who believe in Christ. They are now those who are he's the guardian angel of the elect, of those of us who believe in Christ. And so that's actually also why historically the saints have talked about how when a person who is destined to go to heaven dies, it's Saint Michael who accompanies them into God's presence.
So we're the chosen people now. Yes. Anybody who believes in Christ is chosen.
That's right. Which is actually the big mistake that people make, is still thinking that they're the Jews are the chosen people. They were, but they rejected their inheritance. They refused to accept Christ, because even the Jewish religion was ultimately a lead up to and a partial revelation in relationship to Christ. So once he came, this is why Christ was so harsh on them. The first time I read this, I was stunned. St. Thomas Aquinas actually makes the observation. He said that the prophets and the patriarchs of the Jews actually knew that God was triune, and they knew he was going to become incarnate. They knew this because we see this in the book of Isaiah. It's revealed in the book of Isaiah, and it's revealed in various parts of Scripture and so the Jews actually knew this. This is why Christ was so harsh on the Jews, that when he came, he said, you guys knew this. You're calling me that I make myself equal to the Son of God. You knew that God was going to become incarnate. Is basically what's being taught there. So the point being is that the fact that they apostatized and rejected ultimately God in the end, which is why they ceased being the chosen people, which is why God gives them that, as I mentioned before, he gives them maybe I didn't mention it to you, but he gave them one generation. So after Christ dies in the year 70 AD, the Romans destroy Jerusalem, and that's why now none of the Jews are practicing their religion, because none of them are offering sacrifice.
So they were the chosen, and then they lost their inheritance. Interesting. That's actually pretty powerful. You don't kick somebody out of their land multiple times in multiple locations throughout the world and expect to be owed any land. In fact, it kind of seems like you need to earn it by being a decent person. If you're a criminal and let's just say you're harassing your neighbors or something like that, do you get to stay there? I mean, if you keep harassing your neighbors, are you going to be jailed? Are you going to, you might get to that weird point where your land is removed, or you just go to jail and you don't ever get to see your land again. You might get to own it, but you never get to see it. There's ways of losing rights pretty easily. This was pretty interesting. I'm going to finish it up, and then we're going to start this game here soon.
It doesn't mean that they're not living up according to certain parts of the Old Testament and things of that sort, but they're not actually performing the ceremonial laws.
Interesting.
And that's why they're so driven to rebuild the temple.
I've heard people say that they think that Michael is Christ himself. Is there any validity to that?
No.
No, nothing.
So Christ, which we know from divine revelation, is God who assumed a human nature. Saint Michael is an angel, which is a different angel, a different nature altogether.
Okay. Is there anything else in the hierarchy we should know?
Other than in my book, I talk about, going into detail about what each individual rank is actually for. But the main thing is that people need to really start relying on them more, because they're here to protect us.
No matter where you're watching the Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this at all, anything.
Talking about angels? I don't know. I saw some lights in the sky the other night. I don't know if they were angels or not. They were doing something weird, though. But people got drones and all kinds of crazy things now, so it's hard to really blame one thing. Alright, I need to zoom up further in this list, because I keep covering stuff from like 3 days ago, and I'm not trying to. It's just this stuff is so out of whack. Israel's massive geofencing psyop on American Christians is now active. We're all targeted for reprogramming. Imagine that.
I want to go deep into this, okay? I want to go deep into this for a few minutes because this all ties back into Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA.
Well, I'm going to play you in a second thing because I want to play this other video real quick. I'll jump back into that in just a second. It's a little bit of a longer video. I want to get to this. Lindsey Graham allegedly flew Israel to coach its leadership on how to sell the Iran strikes to President Trump.
I want to ask about what the Wall Street Journal is reporting about your colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham. The Journal is saying that Graham traveled several times to Israel in recent weeks to help make the case on Iran, meeting with members of the country's intelligence agency, spoke with Netanyahu, coaching him on how to lobby President Trump for action. Graham said that Netanyahu showed the president intel that persuaded President Trump to go ahead. Senator, I know you all talk to foreign leaders, and that happens routinely. But speaking to a foreign leader on the precipice of war and seeming to be lobbying or being an intermediary, which this seems to indicate, is that the right way to go?
Well, listen, Lindsey is passionate about defending America, and he is on the road a lot. He's talking to world leaders all over the world. There are times when I agree with Lindsey. There are times when I don't. But when it comes to
what
the
about
threat,
this? What about this? I mean, this is something of a totally different level, is it not?
No, actually, when it comes to the threat Iran poses, Lindsey agrees they pose a major threat to America, and I agree they pose a major threat to America. Look, Lindsey and I disagreed on the Iraq War. He thought the Iraq War was a good idea. I thought the Iraq War was a mistake. I think Iran is fundamentally different because Saddam Hussein was not murdering Americans on the scale and level that Iran has been doing. Saddam Hussein was not funding Hamas and Hezbollah, killing Americans. And President Trump acted boldly to take out a regime that had been killing Americans over and over.
We're not disagreeing on that.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with that. Our point is working with Netanyahu so closely to lobby President Trump, acting as an intermediary for a foreign country. Is that appropriate? That was my simple question. I'm not trying to be difficult here, but that's slightly unusual, is it not? I agree with you on other points.
I don't think it's a fair characterization that Lindsey is an intermediary for Israel. And a lot of the critics say, oh, the war is all about Israel. Understand, it's not about Israel. It is about America. The reason President Trump acted is to defend America. There's a reason the Ayatollah...
That's some half-decent pushback.
And America is the great Satan. I believe if the Ayatollah got a nuclear weapon, he would use it.
I want to see more of that, Laura Ingraham.
And that's why President Trump acted. So I get frustrated with all the people who say, oh, this is all for Israel. No, it's not. This is for America.
Or Lindsey Ingraham, I'm sorry. Wait, what's your name again?
Protecting us. And you started your
is it Laura?
Saying
I don't
this was
remember.
not going to be a protracted land battle with troops there for a long time. You're absolutely right. That is not going to happen. But the president is acting decisively to take out real threats to the lives and safety of Americans.
All right. Well, Senator, it's great to see you, as always. Thank you
I
very
suck
much.
with names. I'm sorry, guys.
In the burbs.
Can't help it. Yeah, Laura Ingraham. There it is.
What the Wall Street Journal is reporting about your colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham. The Journal.
I just covered that, so let's move on.
All of this matters, and it's very important. We know that Bridge Partners, a Delaware-based LLC, paid
Oh, one more thing. One more thing, then I'll shut up. Thai Sites says, have we had a cure for cancer for over 75 plus years? Daily Mail reports CIA faces furious backlash after hidden document with potential cure for cancer is declassified. And if you check the date on this handy dandy document, you can see date published is October 1950. So, naturally, it's a little bit over 75 years ago. Crazy, right? All right, moving on.
I want to go deep into this, okay? I want to go deep into this for a few minutes because this all ties back into
Megan.
All of this matters, and it's very important. We know that Bridge Partners, a Delaware-based LLC, paid 14 to 18, that's according to the report, U.S. influencers $900,000 to create content for the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We know this, and these influencers did not register under FARA. But it gets even worse than that, and you all have heard me discuss this before. A lot of you guys know this. The Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also listed on a FARA registration numbered 7653, paying a company called Show Faith by Works, LLC, over $4 million to geofence Christian churches and congregations around America to educate them about Israel and the benefits of an Israeli-American alliance. My followers, many of you throughout the country, have been sending me text messages that you all are receiving in these areas. And here is what I have been provided. And then I have some updated information for you on this as well. And this is how I think Erica Kirk and Turning Point USA are now involved in all of this. But I want you to take a listen to this. A registration 7653 filed by Show Faith by Works, LLC, using the company Rain Cross Marketing to geofence and harvest data across evangelical Christian churches in America to propagandize these Christian congregations paid for by the state government of Israel. The foreign principal is the Israeli Foreign Ministry. Their stated goal is the largest geofencing campaign in U.S. history on behalf of Israel, on Christians. It states in this FARA registration all of this. I also brought up how Turning Point USA geofenced Charlie Kirk's memorial. Andrew Colvett admitted as much on Fox News with Jesse Waters in the immediate aftermath. And they have accumulated almost 10,000 evangelical churches, I think it's a little bit under that, across America since Charlie died. TPUSA Faith has the largest network of Christian evangelical churches in America. I've asked you all to send me tips if you're a member of one of these churches. Send me any messaging you're receiving to your cell phones about pro-Israel propaganda, and many of you did. And I want to show you this. This is the first text message that I got here. I blocked out the name. This text message reads, "Hi, this is Jen with Friends for Peace. We are listening to different views about Israel today and would like to hear yours. Got a moment to check. Stop to end." This individual responded with, "Seriously, is this some kind of Zionist propaganda? If so, hard pass." And then the message responds and says, "I see how you feel. It can be frustrating when it seems like only one side is being represented. But I want to assure you that our goal is to have an open and honest conversation about the importance of the U.S.-Israel alliance." It then continues, "When Israel comes up in the news or online, what usually stands out to you?" The individual didn't respond. And then Jen asks, "Are you still around?" And now I want to show you this. Let me remove that, bring that up here. I'm going to present the screen to you. I then searched for this Friends for Peace online, and I came across this Reddit thread. Friends for Peace, Partners for Peace. These are all front names. But look at this. Consistent with the text messages I just showed you, if you take a look at this Reddit thread and you go down, I want to show you this one particular message that this individual left. You can actually dialogue with Jen or Jennifer, as you're about to see, or whoever. I mean, to be honest, it's an AI, right? It's an AI that is trained to issue propaganda and debate on behalf of Israel. This individual, defective zipper from a month ago, said, "Looks like it's from a pro-Israel lobby. They asked for my opinion and proceeded to defend Israel." Then, it's great that you're open to sharing your thoughts. Israel's a country that deserves our support, especially when it comes to defending against terrorist groups like Hamas. When you hear about Israel in the news, what comes to mind first? This individual then responds, which they do not deserve report, blah, blah, blah. Then Jen responds, "I understand that you're feeling strongly about this, and it sounds really difficult for you to see the situation this way. Israel is a country that's just trying to protect its people from terrorist attacks." Okay, so you see what's happening here. This is a back and forth that this AI or Jen or whoever this is, that's coming to these individuals' phones. These are coming to individuals' phones in the vicinities of these churches that are being targeted to propagandize them with pro-Israel propaganda. These are Christian churches. We've gone beyond geofencing for companies to sell products and services.
So, is he saying that there's AI that is like communicating with people and basically trying to like correct them and debate them into, I don't know, believing certain things? Is that what I'm getting? Reprogramming? We're all targeted for reprogramming, he says right here. I'm going to wrap up this post real quick because we need to move on. Already played half the video at a sped up speed. They plan to track phones at every major Christian church on the West Coast. California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, including TPUSA affiliated ones like Scottsdale Bible, North Phoenix Baptist, Palmcroft, and more. Their goal is to bombard worshipers with pro-Israel propaganda, aka Hasbara, using biblical arguments to push their agenda and counter pro-Palestine views. Can you see why I am so vocal about this? And I tried to attack it with I guess, what I see as the appropriate Christian angle, in the sense that, we are trying to preserve the holiness and divinity of Jesus' message. I know everybody has different opinions and what they want to believe with all that, but what are we trying to do in this life? In my opinion, I think we're trying to preserve good things, and I think Christianity as a whole is a good valued system to kind of carry on. I grew up with it. I went in and out of my belief for a few years, but, always found my way back. You could always kind of tell that there was something more to it. So naturally, I just came back. It wasn't really hard for me, especially with all the growing evil in the world. It kind of makes you rethink what is good and evil. So naturally, you try to start to think, well, what binds goodness to anything, And God is one of those reinforcing metaphysical and spiritual tools, and just anchors for that value system. Trying to fight for something good, trying to worship something good, trying to bring about good into the world, trying to create good things. We don't want to create evil to provoke evil and just have a domino effect of evil. We want the opposite. So, not trying to be too preachy, but sometimes I feel like the world needs it, you know? As long as it's the right message, as long as it's not a manipulated message for war. Obviously, that's Satan being deceiving. You know, it's how Satan manifests through several faces. It's always a spirit that, I guess, manifests through the evil spirits in the world. If you really kind of think about it, it's almost like the evil people are like back doors for these personalities, and, you know, it's the inadequacy, I think, that really manifests certain evil in certain people. And if there's anything that's inadequate, it's people like this. Alright, I won't be too mean. Lindsey Graham boasts that he was the one who successfully convinced President Trump to start another war in the Middle East. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to, like I said earlier, he's trying to convince other members how to convince Trump to strike Iran.
And what people like Levin, whom I'm not attacking, I feel sorry for because he's clearly living in hell, but what they're trying to do is a species of witchcraft. And it's really simple. You repeat something until it becomes true. You speak... You create truth by speaking. In the beginning was the word, right? There's a holy power, there's a supernatural power in words. Describing things is different from simply doing them. And if you can talk reality into being. This is what an incantation is. This is what a spell is. It's not like spooky, like crazy stuff. It's the lived reality of every person. Say it and it becomes true. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. Shills like Pompeo are getting paid from who knows how many different groups to lie to you and coming across as some sort of moral voice, or people, poor Mike Huckabee guys like that who are just like under some spell. Let's just be honest about what this is. It's not about Iran's weapons. It's about Israel's ambitions. But there's something deeper. There's like almost a spell. I mean, Huckabee, for example. You really think Huckabee is being threatened? I know Huckabee well. I'm sure you do too. Yes. Nice man. Like, what is this? And I look at him and I see a man under a spell. I mean this, and I'll be mocked for it, but I mean it. There's no practical, conventional explanation for some of this behavior. I mean, look at Ted Cruz, and I'm like, I think I know what's going on. Lindsey Graham, I think I know what's going on. But Mike Huckabee, I think he is under a spell. He is not thinking clearly at all. And so when Mike Huckabee says, and I think Mike Huckabee likes America, or did, but when he stands up and says, God will destroy our country if we don't support Bibi, it's like, how could someone ever say something like that? And I don't know the answer, but I think it's more metaphysical than political.
Comes of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates.
Pahlavi at the Wailing Wall. Some people have speculated whether he could be the new leader for Iran. I don't know if he's gonna make it there, though. White House says this regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
I'm gonna shoot you right down.
This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you. We didn't start this war.
We're gonna start this war.
President Trump, we are finishing.
Sure about that?
Their war on Americans has become our retribution against
We're gonna start this war.
Iran is run by lunatics, fanatic lunatics. They have an ambition to have nuclear weapons. They intend to develop those nuclear weapons behind a program of missiles and drones and terrorism that the world will not be able to touch them for fear of those things. This is the weakest they've ever been. Now is the time to go
your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance.
You see, the second presidency, he was ascending to be Mashiach's. You know, in a concert, you have an opening performer who performs before. So the one who is escorting Mashiach into the world, the Eibishter has chosen that Esav should be the one that should do that. I've discussed this many times, and this is kind of coming from many other people that are very known on the internet, rabbis who speak about Mashiach. There's 2 or 3 that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last 15 years. Everybody's waking up now. I had the schus to be one of those 2 or 3 that have been speaking about Mashiach for the last quite a long time. And from the other ones, everybody comes to the same conclusion, that he is clearly a Gilgal or of Esav. There's everything about him. He's got that arrogance of Esav. He's got the red hair. He's unpredictable. He's very, and there's a lot to it. Okay. What's interesting is that the pasuk says that V'rav Yavli Tzo'ir, the older one will serve the younger one. The ultimate prediction of the Geula is that the older one, Esav, has to become a servant to Yaakov. And when someone becomes a servant, you become a servant. An ultimate servant is to become the servant forever. Now, Esav, interesting. Esav was not a Gentile.
Okay, I've had enough of that. Can only listen to that shit for so long. The White House says America will take the oil away from terrorists in Iran. This is huge. Russian President Putin says the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed.
This is a long-term game.
Which, I think there's a little bit of back and forth with that. So I don't think this report is current. I think it has been eased, letting some shipments through. So I don't think it's as closed as they're putting on it to be. Trump administration officials have been buying Armageddon-proof underground bunkers. At least 2 of them I've heard. I don't know how many exactly, but I've heard of at least 2. One of the main reasons why Ethiopian Orthodox Church and its followers are under constant attack. Nobody can hide the truth forever. Truth prevails.
The Ethiopian church took all of this literature, which included literature that nobody considered scripture at the time, and they appear to have just been non-discretionary and included everything.
A page forbidden to translate for 1,700 years just revealed what Jesus taught his disciples after the resurrection. 40 days of secret instructions, prayer techniques, angel names, maps of heaven. The Western Church burned every copy they could find, but Ethiopian monks saved one. They hid it in mountain monasteries. They copied it by hand for 60 generations. And now they have broken their silence. What this page contains is a direct challenge to everything mainstream Christianity teaches about salvation, prayer, and the afterlife. The implications are still unfolding. The page they forbade. Narrations. And now they have broken their silence. What this page contains is a direct challenge to everything mainstream Christianity teaches about salvation, prayer, and the afterlife. The implications are still unfolding. The page they forbade. The Mashaf Akidan opens with Jesus standing among his disciples 3 days after his death. He tells them the public ministry was preparation. Now comes the real teaching. What follows is 40 days of instruction that never made it into any Western Bible. The text describes 7 prayer postures. Each posture aligns the body with a different spiritual frequency. Standing with arms raised connects to angels of praise. Prostration with forehead touching earth opens channels to receive divine instruction. Kneeling with hands crossed over the chest creates a seal that protects the prayer from demonic interference. Sitting with palms upward on the knees receives divine wisdom. Lying flat in complete surrender opens the soul for transformation. These are not metaphors. These are techniques with specific purposes. The text explains when to use each one. Morning prayer requires different postures than evening prayer. Prayers for healing differ from prayers for guidance. The text names angels, not just Michael and Gabriel, which appear in Western scripture. The Mashafa Kidan names Suriel, the angel who guides souls after death. Raguel, the angel who executes divine justice against those who harm the innocent. Sarakael, who guards spirits that sin against other spirits. Remiel, who oversees resurrection and wakes the dead at the appointed time. Phanuel, who presides over repentance and gives hope to those who inherit eternal life. Each angel has a function. Each can be called upon by name. Each responds to specific invocations detailed in the text. The text maps heaven, 7 levels. Each level has guardians who challenge ascending souls. Each guardian requires specific knowledge to pass. The first heaven contains clouds and angels who record human deeds. The second heaven holds fallen angels awaiting judgment. The third heaven is paradise, where the righteous rest. The fourth heaven holds the sun, moon, and stars, with the angels who guide them. The fifth heaven contains the watchers who...
Oh, I want to hear more. That was pretty interesting. Alright, we're going to start this game. I feel like it's about time. Greece has begun painting Orthodox Christian imagery on their fighter jets. I don't know if that's actually true, but it sounds kind of neat. Let's have some cooler shit painted on our stuff. How about that? I mean, I think it's kind of neat. I don't know. It's different. I mean, we don't gotta put Jesus on everything. I don't want to, like, you know, oversaturate it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it puts people out of the mood if you oversaturate things. Just my opinion. All right. I don't really like these. Yeah, I don't like these AI scripted videos. Apparently, anyone can make with them. Yeah. Apparently, on TikTok, you can make these AI videos with this character right here, Asian guy. I think some people think he's a real character, too. That's the funny part. U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are set to arrive in Israel on Tuesday. This is who everyone is dying for. This is who everyone is being impoverished for. Alright, let's start this game. It's game time. I need to level up. Haven't done this stuff in a while. like the Jacksaw pistol. What mission's at? What this crap? Got no crates. Got new stuff. So tell me which tops I get. What shit? Can't even see it. Never mind. I don't care. I honestly don't know what my mission is right now. Oh, here we go. I forgot, we're taking out the cartel. That's basically the entire game. Not you. What am I going after next? What's my mission? What's that? Oh, there it is.
No, man. I have something for you.
Going over there.
I'm patching you coordinates now. When you get there, call me. I'll explain everything then.
One guy here. Yeah, I figured. How do I get out of this frame? I forgot what button to press for a second.
Good shooting. Let's clean up and move on. I got it. I'll fly.
So far away. I could like press a button, make it like auto fly. Is there a way to do that?
Ready? Fire, fire, fire.
No. Yeah, I don't think there's a button for it.
Montreal is found to belong to the primary training ground. They've got a number of military-style training camps in Normandy and bring in recruits from all over South America. And literally spending big money for people with special forces background to train cartel recruits. The senior instructor is rumored to be former U.S. military, but we don't know much more than that. I need you to gather info on the cartel training options. Get me an ID on the senior instructor.
Solid copy, Bowman. We'll get on it.
Distraction mission. Anything else I want?
Trinidad has custody of a high-level stealth tech engineer. As you can imagine, he knows some sensitive U.S. industrial secrets that we must escape. Trinidad currently is holding him at an underground research facility, and that card should open the security door. Check your map for the facility location. I need you and your team to find him and extract him. Think you can handle that?
Simple extract. Consider it done.
Don't be so sure this one's going to be simple. Call me when you have the engineer. Bowman out.
Looks like a stealth tech engineer wandered a little too far from home, and now Trinidad has him. We're gonna go get him, and before he goes in high-tech secrets.
Skeltech? As in the tech company started by Jay Skell? Yeah. Only one of the smartest and richest people on the planet. Skeltech probably designed half the gadgets we use. He's so smart and rich, why would he need us? Yeah. Shit, just be glad he hasn't replaced us with robots yet.
Is that the only way in? Guess I just need to hope that the train doesn't show up.
I got eyes on a weapons case.
Hold up a second. Want that train to come down while I'm doing something else. I just saw him real quick.
What the hell is this shit? It's massive. You see any guards?
No, that worries me. Keep your head on a swivel.
I don't know where to go. Search for the engineer. Oh, he might be in a box then.
Leave a marker so the rebels can pick up the supplies later.
I couldn't go in anywhere. Like a button to open up the door somewhere? Am I supposed to blow you up? Oh shit. Might want to back up. I didn't do anything. Get F, yo. I don't want to join a public session. Shut up. Oh, I didn't see this over here. Got dead people everywhere.
Someone's already hit this place. Keep your head on the swivel.
On the door.
Looks like we caught a break. The scientists are still alive, they've just been knocked out. Only Unidad soldiers have picked up.
So our guy should still be alive. Jeez. I was going to find him in all this mess.
Research that mess.
We got trackers for days. All kinds of trackers. Nothing in. I haven't found him yet. Is this the beginning? I can't remember. There we go. Look who it is.
Walker, what the hell are you doing here? Bowman didn't say to expect you.
Tough little handler of ours, got no idea.
What's the game?
High level skill technique. Daniel right over here, spending a lot of time in
Our mission from Bowman was to rescue him from Unidad.
I could blow sunshine up your ass all day, but I'll spare you. Bowman, she's my real target. They know exactly what he's been doing, but she's been protecting the little shit.
What's he do for them?
Informant inside Unidad.
These must be some pretty serious secrets for you to go off script.
Must be.
Fuck, they're here.
Get him up. Okay.
Kayate, you want to live through this? You follow me and do as I say.
You two gonna make it out.
Looks like Walker left some fun for us. Time to earn our pay.
Puta madre! What's these guys?
You want to live long enough to find out? Keep your head down.
I have a shot. Engage it.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't love any of this.
Oh, I hit. Oh, I pressed that button. Why didn't I do it? Weird. Can't pick up ammo? Why? It's lame.
Cover, get the
just for fun. Bitch, came up quick.
We should get together like this more often.
Right. Next time I'll bring a high caliber rocket.
And I'll bring more grenades.
No! Pick my ass up, quick. You guys shoot. Oh. Alright. Press the wrong button. You guys open fire, please? Fucking do something. Wish I didn't have to tell you that. How do I get downstairs? Fuck it, I don't care. Come on, bitch. Alright, I'm going the wrong way. I don't know how to get out of here. I'm supposed to go this way. Yeah. See him. Oh, I guess I got him. There he is. He's on the ground.
We got hostiles in the area.
I don't even know I'm here yet. I didn't see him.
Sniper.
Got him.
Grenade, get to cover. Grenade!
They've got us blocked off.
Fuck. He was already ducked behind the cover. I don't even know how he shot that shot. Where's my team at? Hurry up. Get up here. The fuck, guys? Like, the frickin' hostage is next to me, and you guys are not even up here. Can you guys fucking get to work?
Fire.
Fire at will, motherfuckers, right now.
Fuck, engage.
Fucking retards.
Tango's down.
Actually, not fire at will, fire at my command, damn it. How about that? Since you don't listen to nobody.
No targets present.
Good, let's get the fuck out of here.
Way over here. We got Tango, stage her close. Goddamn. You just can't help yourself. Just can't walk away from the fight.
That skill's not on my resume.
Finish the damn mission.
Yeah, my helicopter's still here.
to go.
Where's that guy at? You better hurry the F up, dude. Why is he so far behind? Bro, get up here. Alright, I guess we'll just wait right here until you get your merry ass up here. Let's watch those birds fly around. You guys doing okay? Y'all eat lunch? I didn't eat lunch. Jeez, bro. Taking your time. He does not want to leave.
Roman, we've got the package.
First hostage I've seen want to just stick behind.
Too much trouble. You know this guy? Just get him to the safe house. I'll pass the coordinates through to you.
I have to extract him to a place with enemies? That's dumb. There's no helipad. Guess we make our own helipad. As always.
return to our regularly scheduled program of liberating the people of Libya from the tyranny of the Salamanca cartel over its next month.
Not yet. I'm serious about both. Let's get
That's the next story mission? Or no? What's the next story mission is? I guess that is it. I'm going back to the same place. Maybe it was just the same town, I don't know. Flew away very quickly, apparently. Shit, they already found me.
Get ready. Fire.
Damn it! How do I restart? Okay, it's gonna restart for me. Well, I didn't think they were gonna be like picking up on me that quickly. Should have seen it coming. Hurry up. I'll play this bitch.
Return to our regularly scheduled program of liberating
You know what? flying my helicopter randomly. Whatever, bro.
I think our guns are still. Hey, ¿qué pasa?
Yeah, it's the same house I was at.
Yo, we got hostiles.
I don't care.
We gonna listen in or what? Nomad, deploy your drone.
Are you sure about this? An island in the middle of nowhere?
Since when does Jay Skell own Rogue? Don't you ever read the news?
Hold on.
How close do I have to be?
He's talking to me.
Okay, I was about to say, come on now.
This shit sounds bigger than pay grade.
I'm on the other side of the map? Jeez. Hopping around everywhere. This game is such a big game.
Oh, hey, this is Nomad. We overheard a conversation between Bowman and the enemy. They're meeting up in person at a farmhouse. Alone. Without
Give me a helicopter.
I want you not to trust her.
I'm not burning bridges yet. I want to see what this meeting's all about.
Before you go, I want to show you something. Send you the coordinates to an airfield where we can link up. I'll fly.
You're gonna get paid, hang back.
I feel like most of this game is spent in a helicopter just because it takes so long to get to places. I might be able to fast travel. No. Damn it. I can't. That sucks. I'm just gonna keep my stick going straight. Do other things in the background while I wait. You guys having a good night? Hard to do everything with one hand. I'm gonna let him hover for a second. Hopefully I don't get shot out of the sky. Don't say that. It'll happen. You heard what Tucker said earlier. The manifest things with your thoughts. Is that inside the hill? Or is it on top of the hill? I think it's on top.
We're crossing into Malcolm Province. Any intel on the area?
Oh shit. You should be there on Tito.
Is that bad or?
The biggest name in Narco Corrido. Music that sings the praises of drug traffickers.
I can't say I know his stuff.
Well, you should. He's the public face of the enemy. The propaganda and recruiting machine with a voice like velvet. His fans are so nuts for him this past August. He refused to go on stage in Anaheim because of some paid speech. The audience rioted, wrecked the venue.
He's got influence.
Find out everything you can about Alfredo's business so we can work it. He'll probably be keeping a low profile. That his agent will be making the rounds, looking for any way to make this trip profitable.
Got it. We'll focus on finding that agent.
You made it. I'd like you to meet my team. Or what's left of it.
I'm sorry.
The unit that hunted them down using advanced surveillance drone. A drone built with tech given to them by that engineer Daniel.
This is not Bowman's fault.
Of course it is. Her and CIA. They've been...
If you don't listen to Narco Corridos, you're a pussy and you're off my Christmas list. Narco Corrido is like gangster rap for the 21st century. The talk is tough, the music is banned, and the swagger is the show. This sexy motherfucker is El Cheeto, by far the #1 Corrido performer in the world. His record sales rake in millions of dollars every year. Were he not so close to Santa Blanca, I'd be having his babies. As
What?
it stands, this suave slab of macho writes and sings the corridos that tell the tales of Santa Blanca's buchones from Bolivia to Culiacan. El Cheeto, real name Marcelo Rios, is not a bad guy. He just sings like one. He's also in tight with all the villains in Santa Blanca. The cartel's Church of Santa Muerte is sponsoring a kind of publicity tour and a concert in Malta. El Cheeto's supposed to boost morale and spread Santa Blanca's good word. This is an opportunity to nab an outsider with an inside track who's got everything to lose. We get El Cheeto to roll on his buddies. Prosecutors in nearly every country of the Western Hemisphere will sing our praises. Snatch and grab, but be gentle. And please,
Is he gay?
don't touch that handsome face.
I'm gonna shoot him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shoot him right in the face. How's that sound? Kidding. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Don't tempt me.
Protecting that weasel while he leaks tech that gets our men killed. Good men. I'm sending these boys home for the last time, but I'm not leaving Bolivia until someone pays.
This whole situation blows. But before we start handing out payback, let's see what the hell this meeting is about.
Are you coming with me? You have to come with me? I don't really... Am I supposed to take the plane?
Y'all are ghosts. Top-tier operators, the quiet professionals. Bravest of the brave, tip of the spear. All that in a bag of chips. But even a bad motherfucker needs help once in a while. Good thing for you. I'm a ghost too.
You're coming with me? And we're going to that location? One more question. Do I need to take that aircraft with me to that location? What is this? Bowman and Daniel meeting in a farm somewhere. Reach the location to investigate. I'm gonna assume we're taking this plane because it's like rolling and ready and I kinda wanna fly it. I'm not gonna lie. And like get in right here. So I can't fly this thing, is that what you're telling me? Is that the door? Hello? Alright, whatever, man. We'll take my plane since your plane sucks. Wait, we got two planes out
Province
here.
is part of the cartel's
Which one's
influence
mine?
operation. Their
Which one's got
propaganda
guns?
machine. We
Someone
should
got guns
familiarize
on it?
ourselves with their MO.
The man at the top is El Cardinal,
I
an
don't want that one.
excommunicated priest turned
Does this one have guns? I can't remember.
He's also supposed to be the spiritual advisor to El Sueño. Other guy in the mix is
I
Ramon
want
Feliz.
guns,
Used to be a
man.
legit journalist till he inexplicably started
I gotta do
blogging
that.
for the cartel.
I gotta do that. Yeah, this helicopter's getting heavy.
Farms everywhere. How the
Got
hell are we
lots of
supposed to
people in
find the
here.
right one in all this?
Think I just let that engineer go without being able to find him again? I put a tracker on his ass. Did it before I handed him off. You just follow the signal. It will lead us right to him.
What's up with all these videos?
Priests like to hear themselves talk, don't they? But as the saying goes, talk is cheap. El Cardinal knew this was true. His people were barely surviving, and he wanted to do
I guess because
something.
I'm doing the story
He
missions.
had to help those in need. He didn't care where the support came from. But there were others who thought he was making deals with the devil. He was cast out. He lost his family, his friends. Lo perdió todo. When I found him, he was a broken man. I brought him into Santa Blanca to preach the truth of the new faith.
For we are wed to death from the moment we are born, and we must come to love her more than we love our lives. Sacred and blessed death, the goddess of darkness can free you from sickness and evil. Do you offer your heart and soul over to her?
He baptized me.
Goddess
in
of
faith.
darkness?
He is my counselor, my conscience. I do. The only person I truly trust.
Worship
with
been
my
like a
soul.
death cult, man. Deal with the devil. El Suno introduces El Cardinal and explains how the priest came to lead Santa Blanca cult of Santa Muerte. Alrighty.
Influence, the fine art of persuasion, the winning of hearts and minds, the grabbing of the short hairs and holding on. Santa Blanca, smart fucks that they are, figured it out. It's not enough to control the events. You have to control the story. El Cardinal, a true believer in Santa Muerte. If you're trying to influence people, it's an advantage to have God on your side. In this case, the skinny lady, the White Sister, the saint of holy death, Santa Muerte herself. Because, let's be honest, there's some things even God won't do for you. El Cardinal, he's on the radio, TV, live appearances, concerts. If El Sueño controls the population through bribery and fear, El Cardinal holds them with something much more powerful. Their souls. How would you like to avoid eternal damnation? Well, luckily, all you have to do is support the Santa Blanca cartel, and you will. On the other end of the public-private scale is Ramon Feliz, the narco-blogger. Don't let the quiet demeanor fool you. He's the SB's social media maven. He's their digital game. A tragic case, Feliz. He used to be a serious journalist, trying to expose the cartel for the psychotic, sociopathic dirtbags that they are. But they turned him. Now, he cranks out SB propaganda like his life depended on it. For his blog, for Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. If you're not into El Cardinal, you're into Feliz. They get you both ways. These two are the yin and yang of the Santa Blanca influence machine. The sacred and the profane, the public and the private, the heart and the mind.
This game's a lot more elaborate than I expected. 69 years old. Back the location with Walker. Looks like we're here.
Shit. You need Dad. Looks like they've got the area surrounded. This could be an ambush. Bowman might be in trouble.
I'm picking up the signal from the tracker. It's coming from the house. It's over there.
Right smack in the middle of those Unidad soldiers. We have to get moving.
By the barn. Get to cover.
Bowman ain't here.
But Daniel sure looks cozy with those culeros.
Think this is trouble for Bowman?
Sure as shit ain't good news.
Oh, shit!
You son of a bitch.
I gotta interrogate him.
All right, asshole. You got one chance to get this next question right. Where is Bowman? Where is Karen Bowman?
Oh, we that took her. I sold her out to them. Lo siento. I had no choice. They would never let me leave the country without her. Por favor, I just want to be with my family.
Where did they take her?
MOB Jaguar in Flor de Oro. Please, I'm telling you, I had no choice. I am not meant for this kind of thing. I'm just an engineer.
Mind if I step in?
He's all yours. He was an American. You're
By the way.
concerned about Bowman now?
I don't give a shit about Bowman. I care about protecting the information in her head. She knows about my family. She know about yours? See, that's the kind of information Santa Blanca likes to use. You know what I mean.
Let's go.
I was like, why don't I have a grenade indicator on my screen?
Clear over here.
That was weird. Second, is the game being kind of shitty? No? Just from me? Hey, this is an Ubisoft game.
Punch it, man.
Oh wait, I forgot that document. I want to get it real quick, just in case. Why can't I open up doors? Fudge, bro. Leaving you guys. You're just gonna stay here? I guess so. Whatever. Bye guys.
Let's get Bowman back. Then we can hear what he has to say for himself.
This is massive. Finding Bowman is going to be difficult. I don't suppose you put a tracker on her too.
I don't put those on just everybody. Don't worry.
We've got to start snooping. I doubt any of the zombies can see us. I don't want to let her know this.
I'll take out the
Got it. Give a holler if you find him inside.
That's City Daddy.
Take cover.
Fuck! I thought that was my teammate next to me.
Fucking hell! That's any Dad HQ.
They expecting visitors, or are they just paranoid?
fuck is he like shooting at me?
Before I ventilate his skull. Female.
Shooting at me through the wall.
I've seen her. I know where she is. I will show you on the map.
Hate it when they do. Oh, I didn't realize there was a door right there. Oops.
Relax. I'll take you alone. Watch out!
Man down, man down.
Stay down, I'll be right there.
Helicopter at? Guess they blew it up. I don't know where they're at.
Man down. Man down over here.
I was gonna say, pick him up and bring him over here, bro.
Bowman, you took your damn time.
No, I didn't.
This wolf won't take my cuffs off.
Now what?
I ain't exactly arrest you, Bowman. I'm bringing you in because I've got some questions of my own.
What's he talking about? Later. Let's get moving. You gonna give me a weapon or what? Walker's questions do need answers. How long have we been in the field together?
Hey, enough! Our location of safe house on the map. If you want to talk, tell this.
Did you follow me now? Okay. Yeah. Are they like above me?
We got a fucking man down. Back it up, back it up. Back it up.
Where am I going now? Bro, why does it keep moving me across the map so much? I just want to take a helicopter. I don't even know where this tunnel leads. This is not on the map. Bowman, get your ass up here. What the hell? I swear. There's some dude chasing you too, retard. What's it taking y'all so long to get up here? On me right now. Yo, do my command. What the fuck? Why is it not doing it?
Roger, move it.
Ready? Fire, fire, fire.
Hey, one front with a minigun. Inside the bunker. Engaging Tangos. He rattled someone's cage. Target is down.
Nomad! Give me your sidearm!
Doesn't have a gun yet? Nobody gave her a gun? You guys are assholes. Where's that freaking helicopter at? Okay, there it is. Ooh, we're getting Apache? Hell yeah.
Got nothing to shoot at.
I'll pilot.
Come on, that gun. Oh, it made it hit that. Can you get in this thing? Or is it just a one-person thing? I guess you can't get in. Fuck, that's not good. There's no other plane here? Hold up. Yeah, I think there's another helicopter. I'll get to it. She can ride in this one. Should be able to. Everybody's coming along for the ride.
Let me guess. You were able to get me to the Skeltech engineer's fleet. And now, you've got some wild ideas about what I've been up to.
I don't need anyone to tell me what you've been up to. I've seen that with my own eyes.
I guess you figure you got it all worked out. Like you got the big picture. Let's save the chit chat for the safe house.
All right, enough with the games. What's this all about?
What's it about? It's about you helping us steal information from the government and giving it to Unidad.
I didn't steal anything. I was helping a spy.
Enemy spy.
Now hold on. My orders were to protect him for the success of multiple U.S. interests in Bolivia. and the Bolivian people.
Spoken like a true traitor. Whatever happened to loyalty to country? You should have killed that engineer the second you knew he turned. If you can protect a man like that, what's to keep you from selling information yourself? Fuck you.
I had orders, and I was following them.
Orders? Orders? Your orders got my men killed. They aided an enemy. I'll take your orders and shove them up your ass.
Walker, this shit gets dirty. And we all get paid to root around in the scum. Now we come out of that muck as clean as we can.
I might spread around like I'm the top of the rock, but I don't have shots. I follow orders. This is an impossible situation. Please don't make this shit. You gotta get somebody off.
You just touched my boobs.
Keep your nose clean, Bowman. You went in for the lives of 2 men. You straight one eye over the sun.
Well, television news. Thanks for sticking up for me in there.
Walker's a good team leader. Can't blame him for caring about his soldiers.
Between your friends and your duties, you have to choose duty.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure Walker.
Get some intel for the next mission. Oh fuck.
Watch it, it's gonna blow.
Good enough. I live! Holy shit! I thought for sure I was dead. You ain't kill nobody. My whole team's alive. Ain't that right, guys? You guys okay? That's good. Alright. I need to go get me... Yeah, I need to go get me a Oh, I can fast travel there. That's good. That makes things a little bit easier. Alright, go ahead and fast travel there. Why not? Sometimes the loading screens actually help the game load better. That's one of the perks of loading screens. Helps give you a stable game. Now, if only it didn't take so damn long. What's up, y'all? Driving everywhere? I don't like that. I got shot down quick, didn't I? Alright, well, I guess we're taking this so everybody can get on.
There are even some women out
Alright, fuck y'all.
successful women.
Disappear in the car later anyways.
The actual word bossy.
Oh my god!
Don't act bossy. Even if they don't like the word, they don't get what they fucking
Taking a shortcut.
They don't make millions
It might not last very long.
shipping products all over the world.
Oh, fuck me. Hey!
Hundreds of scenarios ready to die for them. So chicas,
We're gonna go down the smooth way.
be bossy. If you're una and you're not una
Good thing this thing has got four-wheel drive.
need a fucking boss.
I hope. Going pretty good. Woo! Bumpy. Alright, hopefully I can squeeze between the truck up here. Fucking A. I'll dent the car. You got this, bro. You got this. You got this. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's why I picked this car. Not that I have many options, but hey, I love it so far. Best car for this mountain I've had. Actually, it kind of is. I'm wildly impressed by its performance. There's not many vehicles in games that I get impressed by. So this is kind of new for me. Probably doesn't slide too much from all the mud. I don't even know how you guys driving this shit. Am I even going the right way? Oh, fuck me. Oops. Ruining somebody's wall over there. Guess y'all's music isn't as good as mine. good. Then I'll do that.
Spotted the Safari leader. He looks kind of stiff. Ideal for starting a little group.
Oh, we got cartel members here. Oh, I didn't even see the helicopter on there. Hold on a second. Gotta use the bathroom. Okay, I'm back.
There's a cartel network here. Bring support that starts with
I didn't know how to get up to him. Damn it, get up there.
We done? Shit, I got all excited there.
Not mentioned in the meeting between the U.S. agents and Blanca lieutenants. There's no location on the meeting, but wait. We've got an address for the hotel where the assistant to the agent checked in for the night.
Assistant to the agent? He showed us.
Whatever. It's fine, it's assistant. Chances are he'll lead us to his boss.
that on the side of the mountain? I can't read it. Let's say y'all. Oh wait, I can read Santa Muerte.
cartel gunman.
What the fuck?
I got one narco. Close to that nasty looking gun.
Bowman, we tracked El Chico's agent to the meeting with South Monica. Cartel people were really big on spreading his promotional materials. There's a promo truck that will be making the rounds in this part of Bolivia.
El Chico's a big deal for everyone. That truck will spread cartel propaganda.
So we take out the promo truck. We'll love's blowing shit up.
We can't just blow up the truck. There's gotta be a warehouse stocking more promo materials. We swap out the truck for one load of C4. I'll have Pakistanis people come up with a copy of the promo truck. When that truck goes back to the warehouse full of promotional materials,
Hey guys, get out of here.
Sounds high risk. You already have a truck?
I'll get what we need. Get the truck. Keep your nose to the ground to see what else we can do to undermine the cartel's influence in the province.
Got it. We'll get your truck.
We've located the warehouse where the equipment is being stored for El Chico's concert. We're going to use the concert's promo card to take it out. All you have to do is steal.
I mean, she's like some Queen of Darkness, so I don't know why I wouldn't shoot it. Everybody be like, that's disrespectful! Witch of Darkness, hello? What's wrong with you people? I think I already found it. I think it's in the middle right there. It's a good place to park at. A place on the mountain here. Looks like that's a place right there. Perfect, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was closer to the ground than. Alright, chill, bro. Is that not it right there? No? Yeah, I was gonna say it's gotta be it. Need to find my targets. Where they at? Are you inside that building, bro?
I'm moving to position. No target. Repeat. No target.
Worker. The other guy at? Come on. Closer. Why do you not have a shot on that guy yet? You suck, bro. fuck? I told you to engage. Finally. I guess I need to hold down the A button to engage. That's my bad. I just had that building.
Getting in position. Need to get to a better position.
A sync shot has a cooldown? I didn't know that. I guess that explains why I wasn't working. I was like, why is the button not showing up? What happened? Oh, it was? When was that detected? I guess I found a dead body. Dude, my helicopter's not here anymore. Oh well, I'm leaving it in the truck. I'm not even gonna hang out right here.
Got some hostile activity. We got a Sicario.
Where you got it?
The checkpoint, over there.
Why did I not move to like... You're not gonna get a sync shot without moving, dude.
Copy. Target marked.
Another tango. Maybe next 3.
Roger that. Moving. I need a better position.
Roger. Target acquired. That tango's down.
Got him. I think they're gonna notice me.
Buckle up, people.
I'll catch up with you.
She only got 2 minutes to fucking deliver it. I gotta turn around then. Damn, dude.
Fire.
You fucking turn. Gotta fucking book it now. Gotta take a left turn. Cool. I realized it was timed until I looked up. Oh my god! Oh, shit in the road. I'm going this way, fuck it. That helicopter will probably give me away. I just need a mission complete real quick. And then I'll go grab the helicopter and leave. Mission success. There you go. Actually, I might just be done for the night. Seems like a good place to stop. I'm gonna upgrade my drone real bad. Definitely my battery. Oh yeah. Anything else? Is that it? Alright. Finally upgraded my battery. Alright, I'm done for the night, y'all. Appreciate everybody that stopped by. If you liked tonight's video, go ahead and like. If you're new to the channel, please follow. And if we're lucky, we may or may not be on tomorrow. Probably Wednesday. I need my news breaks, guys. The news is too crazy lately to consume it on a daily basis. It's like I'll still keep up with it, but I just don't want to talk about it every single day. It's good to have those little breaks. Alright, anyways, have a good night. Sleep well.